today has been a long day. So it's the same day as my entry that I made this morning. And I was up very early. I think my alarm was set for 4:30 this morning. And then had my catch-up meeting with my ProVeg mentor, which was absolutely brilliant. And it's now 9:30 at night. And I've spent the evening in this place behind me. That is my local Starbucks, which is where I come and tend to use as my kind of office away from home quite often. And the staff have just kicked me out because we are closing. You might be able to see them cleaning up behind me perhaps. But the reason is it's just kind of creating the hours to do the incubator. And working through all the tasks, this evening I've done quite a few interesting things. We had one bit of mammoth reading to do, of course, literature, which was the Social Impact Navigator Guide. And we were given 50 pages from that to read and then to write a response to what we'd learned about how to build logic models for our project and many other interesting things like stakeholder engagement and getting people on board with your mission and things like that. So lots of really good, useful things. But another of the exercises that I've just done this evening that I wanted to make a quick comment on was the idea about finding co-founders for what you're doing as a business. And now I thought this was really worthwhile just having a quick conversation about with you, because the statistics show that if you start a business with somebody else, you are far more likely to succeed and you are far more likely to have a successful business. And the maths is simple. If you've got two people as co-founders of a business, you can get through twice as much. If you've got three people, you can get through 3 times as much. If you've got 4 people, and it just, goes on and on and on. And that's quite interesting. Because the stats back that up, and I think it was Y Combinator that I was looking at. Out of their top 100 companies who have gone through Y Combinator and got funded and become successful, out of their top 100, I think they said something like only 3 or 4 were solo founders. All the others were groups of co-founders working together to make that successful business. And that's something that's not that easy to ignore, especially if you are a solopreneur, especially if you are building a business on your own. The idea that if you were to link up with somebody else to build that business with you, you would be far more likely to succeed and probably succeed a lot quicker as well. So that's something that I was working through today as an exercise, kind of thinking about if we were to bring somebody else on board to build Vegan Business Tribe with us or whatever is going to come out of this incubator, what kind of traits that person would need for me to get along with them and for that to be a good fit. And I think, well, today's sort of illustrating it, I do come from a previous career where working 80 hours a week wasn't unheard of, sometimes even working 100 hours a week, under certain circumstances was something I used to do. And so that whole idea that if somebody else was to work on a project with me, they'd have to be able to match or get close to those kind of energy levels and that kind of commitment to put the hours into working on something. I mean, just working 9 to 5, 7 days, 7 hours a day, that feels very part-time to me. And I'd probably struggle if I was working with somebody else who thought that was full-time. So that was quite an interesting takeaway to have as well. But also this idea about tenacity, and positivity. They're the things which I really value in business. So if I was going to find somebody else, I don't think it'd be necessarily about finding somebody with complementary skill sets to myself. So someone who's good at the things that I'm not that good at and vice versa. I think it would just be finding somebody who could match my level of energy in building a business. So if I was going to bring somebody in, or if I was going to look to collab with somebody or something like that, that would be what's most important to me as a business. So I thought that'd be worth you maybe just thinking about that for your own business. If you are struggling to get things done, if you're struggling to move a business forwards, could you actually find somebody to collaborate with and come in as your co-founder to your business? Because the stats, they really do show that you'll have far more of a chance of building a successful business that way. Right, I think Lisa's wondering where I am. she'll be in bed. My daughter Arwen will definitely have been in bed for a few hours now. So I'm going to quickly head back home. But yeah, a very long day, but a very productive one too.